Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Hope everybody has a lot to be thankful for. Obviously, we do. A lot, definitely. You know, we knew he was going to be here for about 9 months. But, you know, the thing I'm most thankful for is that everything went well with the labor. It was relatively... I know she would probably kill me for saying this. She's actually taking a nap right now, so she doesn't even know I'm doing this. But, it was relatively on the easy side for a first baby. I've heard some horror stories of people that had first babies and, you know, they were in labor for insane amounts of time and had all kinds of complications. And despite what the hospital really thought was going to happen with the C-section and with a lot of different things, she had a vaginal birth and everything was great. And, you know, mother and baby were fine afterward. She didn't have to deal with a giant C-section scar or anything like that. And we were very, very thankful for that. I especially am very thankful for that because knowing the 2 surgeries that I went through, I mean, C-section is a major surgery, and, you know, I'm happy that she didn't have to go through that. But that being said, this video, I just wanted to make a quick video regarding our decisions that we made after the first week. So, the first week after he was born, we tried everything we could do to breastfeed, and it wasn't working out, like, in any way, shape, or form. He wasn't getting enough. She was killing herself. Like, absolutely killing herself. And, you know, I'm not trying to make this a commercial against breastfeeding. I know the benefits of it. We really weighed a lot of things before we made that decision. Trust me, it wasn't a decision that we came to lightly. But a lot of people, you know, who, after you have the baby, when you're at the hospital, you know, you're going to have lactation consultants coming in. You're going to have a lot of people that are coming into you that are trying to basically guilt you into doing breastfeeding. And it's important that everyone knows the truth about breastfeeding and bottle feeding. And it's just one of those things that I think that, you know, things kind of get glossed over, and people think there's only one right way to do it, and that's not totally true. From a health benefit standpoint, breastfeeding is second to none. He gets a lot of the nutrients and immune system and things that come from the mother go to the baby, and a lot of times the first couple of weeks is the most important part of that, to populate his stomach with good bacteria, to get good probiotics going, to let his immune system kind of come up to speed. A lot of those things are important. They really are. But if you're not producing the amount of milk that your baby needs, then it's going to be a very hard road for you to walk. And that's what it was for us. For those, you know, again, here's some truth about breastfeeding. So, generally speaking, your breasts make enough milk to feed every 2 hours or so. It's very rare. I mean, they'll talk to you about after the first, you know, month, I guess, or so. I don't know, when you start producing the amount of milk that the baby needs, he'll start sleeping longer. But I want to tell you a couple of the days, like the schedule that my wife had to keep in order to breastfeed the baby. So she was basically up around the clock, because in your first week you're not used to sleeping in spurts. Like they say, well, sleep when the baby sleeps. Well, nobody's used to doing that. They're used to going to sleep at 11 o'clock or whatever, or 10 o'clock at night, and sleeping until 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning. It's as simple as that. That's what people are used to doing, okay? So if people are used to doing that, then suddenly telling them, well, you have to sleep an hour here, an hour there, an hour there, an hour there, and it'll add up to 7 or 8 hours of sleep, it's not the way it works, you know? I know the baby's supposed to sleep 18 to 20 hours a day, but you're never asleep, you know? Even now that he's sleeping a little bit longer, we're still not asleep fully. It's like kind of a twilight almost, where you're always have that radar going of every sound he makes and everything like that. So that was the first thing. So she wasn't getting enough sleep. Then the second thing was, if you're not taking in enough to produce the milk, meaning water and food, so that you can pass that on to the baby, because you're still basically eating for 2 at that point, then you're going to have a very tough time producing milk. So towards the end of the first week, she just she stopped producing milk because she was forgetting about herself. She was so busy about and so worried about taking care of Jake that she wasn't taking care of herself. So, you know, you have a lot of these factors that kind of come into it that make it very hard to be successful at it. And I know that there's some people that can be successful at it, but it's a huge shock. It's like you go from having this, even when you're pregnant, you have this certain way of doing things, and then all of a sudden it's like all this is thrown at you. And on top of trying to take care of a newborn who's got to get changed, who's got to get, you know, dressed, who's got to be soothed, who's got to walk around, you got to have time to do this, you got to have time to do that. She's trying to breastfeed him every 2 hours, and it was just not working out at all. And when she stopped producing the milk, we switched over to formula. And obviously, our first plan was to try to supplement, and it wasn't really happening. It wasn't working the way that we wanted it to work. And you know, obviously with formula they sleep a little bit longer, they get a little bit more, and it just seemed to work better for what we were doing. I was going back to work. I only took a week off from work, and I had to go back to work, and I was dreading, you know, having her, first of all, not be able to sleep at night because she had to be up, waking up to feed him every couple hours, and then all day doing the same thing and just driving herself insane, like literally slowly driving herself crazy, because it's impossible. It's ridiculous, the stress and the time, the schedule that you have to keep when you're doing this. It's ridiculous. And this is just real talk, folks. Like, I'm really not trying to make and I know that there's tons of breastfeeding Nazis out there that are going to come down on me with like the hammer of Thor, but I'm telling you right now that, you know, I don't have anything against breastfeeding. I think that it's a beautiful thing. I think that it's necessary, at least to some extent, but it just didn't work out for us. And I'm not going to feel bad about that. I'm not going to make excuses for it. I'm just going to tell you it didn't work out for us. And for our situation, and for, you know, I feel like he's growing like super fast. Like he's, you know, I don't know if you guys remember the last video I made, but like, I don't know if you'll be able to like tell anything, but the guy is like, has definitely gotten bigger. I mean, he's just putting on weight like crazy, and you know, I just feel like he needs more of that stuff, you know, the stuff that makes him grow, the good stuff, you know. And I just didn't think that he was going to get that with the breast milk. I just didn't think she was going to be able to produce enough milk, and it would just be a struggle. And that's not good for anybody, because there's a bonding thing that you have to go with. You have to bond with your baby. You have to do these things, and it all is very important in the scheme of things. So, you know, I just think that, you know, like I said, not going to make excuses, not going to feel bad about it. Didn't work out for us, and hopefully it works out for you. Really does. I really hope that. But anyway, you know, that's it. I just wanted to tell some people some of the real things that you go through between breastfeeding and bottle feeding. Hopefully it helps. And that's all I got for you. Happy Thanksgiving. Don't eat too much. Don't drink too much. I got a couple beers cooling in my fridge downstairs that I'm going to be putting away. And yeah, don't do anything I wouldn't do. Cheers.